This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2024 Sunset Trail. The model number is 258RD. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the features. It still hasn't been cleaned on the outside. We're still prepping it, but I can show you around. Of course, you have powered stabilizer jacks. You can extend and retract. One switch controls both rear jacks. The switch in front controls both front. You have a power awning with LED. TV hookup here with power and signal out. You have outside speakers and an on-demand water heater. So this is on-demand. Keep in mind, right now the unit's shut off, right? So if you turn it on, you go like that, just so you, if you're not getting any power, just remember to come out here and flip it on. You should shut it off, obviously, when you're not using it. Trying to light now, which I don't want it to do. I guess it just did, didn't it? But I have antifreeze in the system now, so there's no reason to run it. It won't. You don't want to heat up the antifreeze. So I'll show you how the control panel works on the inside. Okay. You have a second door here. Another switch for your front stabilizers. You have your hitch, which is a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. Okay. That is your sprayer down there, the blue coil. You have your jacks. Now this top jack with a cylinder with a slot cut in it, you can use that to crank your stabilizer jacks if you get into trouble. If you go to the off-door side, you look at the stabilizer assembly, you'll see a shaft with a pin through it. You just put that right on there and you can actually crank it manually if you get into trouble. Now, this obviously is not your tank. Your tank is underneath your cover here. We're just using that as a test tank. And you ordered it without a battery. So, this is the kill switch. It's shut off. If you turn it all the way clockwise, it'll turn the battery on. This is your power tongue jack, obviously. You can remove this cover and you can crank it manually with a socket. So you can actually get yourself out of trouble there too if you get into, for some reason it fails. You can always crank it manually. Okay. So here we have the water station. Very simple. This is a city water hookup right here. You put the hose on there and turn it on, you're all set. If you have, if you're camping someplace without city water, let's say you're boondocking or any place where there's no city water hookups, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then you could use the onboard pump to pump the water out. All the plumbing works. Those you have city water, you just be pumping it from the tank. I'll show you where the switch for the pump is when we get inside. And this here is the black tank flush. So after you dump your black tank, like it states on the sticker, you leave the valve in the open position. Then you hook the hose at the dump station on there, you turn it on, leaving the valve open, and it'll spray out the black tank, clean it out really good, and importantly it'll spray off the sensors so they get a good accurate reading, that sort of thing. Okay. This is a port for that coiled sprayer that I just showed you. Okay. Your slide room, obviously. You have I think these are your valves here, gray and black. Okay. And your low point drains right there. You have a 50 amp system here. So you got a 50 amp power cord, plus we give you a reducer to reduce it down to 30, and another little one to reduce it even further down to 20 if you need to plug it in at home to pack it up or something. Behind here is your hookups for your satellite or campground cable. You have a ladder, which is great. It makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states every 90 days the roof should be inspected. You're just looking for damage that could be caused up there by low branches or road debris. You're looking for cracking or separation in any of the sealant. Just give it a quick look over to make sure everything's in good shape. And of course you have it's pre-wired for a backup camera there. You can see the housing. It's just a Furion backup camera kit. Okay. We'll go inside here. First thing we'll do is run the slide room out. which is down here. So we'll go to slide out, right there, hold the button down. This is called an AccuSlide. Just so you know, there are different types of slide rooms. This one's called an AccuSlide. And we're out. Okay, this one here is for your power awning. Remember, never leave the power awning out unattended. These are lights here that I just turned on, obviously. This is your water pump that I told you about, to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. You'll also use that to winterize the trailer. And you have tank heaters. So there are heating pads on all your holding tanks, so you can extend your camping season by just turning that on. And your levels, of course, your batteries charged. You have your fresh water tank, black and gray tanks. Graduates up in 1/3 increments. Okay, so your fireplace is also a space heater. So you see it's flashing H right there. That means it's on high. Off, low fan, high fan. It really kicks like that. I just I changed the color of the crystals. So you got options there. And thermostat, you have or not a thermostat, you have a timer, which I just accidentally set. There we go. So it has a lot of features. It's a good space heater. It runs on AC power, so on those days where you don't quite need your furnace, you could just use campground power. Okay? Okay. Television is also your sound system. So this has 2 speaker zones inside and outside the trailer, A and B. You have FM radio, no AM. Bluetooth, so you can stream with it. You got HDMI ports in the front and the rear if you want to go into the system with something like a portable Blu-ray player or something like that. And you can see the rest of it, USB charging. Okay, so it does a lot. Let me just look here for a second, see what we got. Okay. Alright, so your microwave here works like any other microwave. This is your range hood here with a fan and a light. This is a GFCI plug. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. There's probably 2 of them in here. There's probably one in the bathroom too. Maybe. We'll look at it. But even the plugs that are just regular plugs are wired through that, even the one on the outside. So if it pops, you're using something outside that pops, you're going to reset it in here, of course. Your keys will be hanging right here. These are just sink covers here, a drainer and a solid cover. Your range, 3 burner. Let's see if we can get this going. This is the left hand one is the sparker. You have 3 burner knobs and then your oven. Let's see if we can do this. I might have to use, let me see, let's do it this way because it's closer. Some of them you have to push. I'm going to have to set this down for a second. I'll see if I can set it so you can see me. There we go. So you don't have to push it in. It's that simple. You just turn it clockwise to spark it. The oven is a little different. It has a pilot light down here. You can see all the way at the back there's a pilot light. So you're going to go to the picture of the flame. You depress this, keep it depressed. You spark it till it lights. You'll see the pilot light down there. You hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple, and then go to whatever temperature you want. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. You have an ambient light and an oven light right there. Okay. Always travel with this in the down position, or it will break, possibly. Let's look up here. Let's see. Okay, here it is right here. This is another pre-wire. Remember I showed you the backup camera pre-wire. This is for, it says 4G on it, which is, you can use it for that, but the most common, this is a pre-wire, the most common function people are after is the public Wi-Fi booster. So if you scan this code here, it'll take you to some pages that show you the different kits. The kit you want consists of an antenna on the roof. There's a port on the roof for the antenna. And then a router box fits right here. So if you want to get that for your family, will have better Wi-Fi, stronger signal, that sort of thing. So it's kind of popular. So if you use a lot of Wi-Fi, that might be something you want. Of course, you have your table here, right? And the table does sit on these cleats here, so you can drop it down. To drop it down, I'm looking here for the, oh, you use this knob here to pull it out, and then you collapse the table at the hinges. And it'll sit right on these cleats right here. You can use the cushions to fill in the space. You got an extra bed. Of course, you have two recliners. More light here. Your refrigerator is a DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volt DC. Like so. We'll go to this one here. This is your power converter right here. So this converts AC to DC power. So you have regular 120 AC circuit breakers on this side, just like you'd have at home, and they're labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC here, so you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. So that's where the 12 volt comes from. This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery has. The one that sits on the front tongue behind the tanks. It'll sense that, and it'll always keep, as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll always keep it charged up. Of course, when you're going down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator charges the battery. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It also will tell you if you have a low battery, but you always want it glowing green. If it's not glowing green, you want to get it serviced. It's important, obviously, very important. There's also a test button on it if you want to push that. But if it's not working, get it fixed immediately or replaced. They're not expensive. They're actually very reliable, but occasionally, it's built by somebody, so occasionally it can go bad. This is your thermostat. You hit the button, you come around to mode, cool, heat. I'll push heat, right? It's set for 72. If I wanted to change to 72, I would hit it again, and you can twist it and raise it and lower it. Obviously your air conditioner works there too, so it's for both of them. Let's see, smoke detector. Everything there. Let me look around. Looks good, looks good. There's also, let me see here. Here it is. This is your packet with your literature in it and stuff. Just one-handed here. So you'll have remotes here for your remote for your fireplace and a remote for your TV. That's for your smoke detector. I'll put that in for you. I'm sorry about my camera work. Yeah, so this is your TV remote, and this is going to be your fireplace remote right there, okay? Alright, so we'll go into the bathroom. Get the lights. Second GFCI, like I said, but the plugs in the back on each side of the bed are wired through this one, I'm sure. You can see there's antifreeze in the system. This is the controller for your on-demand water. I can't, because there's antifreeze in the system, I can't really show you. It's shut off, but you're going to turn it on right here. It'll light up. It'll tell you what it's set at. These up and down buttons here, or arrows, they tell you what temperature it's set at. It's usually somewhere between 150 and 120 degrees is what people usually set it at, which is pretty typical. This is just to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. But once you got that set, as long as you have a source for gas and as long as you have a source for water, there's a safety in it. Let's say you try to light the gas burner, but you're not hooked up to city water and the city water isn't turned on, it won't light because it obviously will not light without water in the system or going through the system. And also if you don't have city water, if you can run it if you have your water in your fresh water tank with the pump turned on. It'll sense the water and it'll light then. But keep that in mind, it won't light unless you've got a water source. But all you're going to do is turn on the hot water, and you'll look at this and it'll show a wheel spinning, then it'll show a flame lighting, the flame will light, and it'll immediately show you the temperature that is at, and it'll start heading up towards 120 or whatever you're set at. Very quick, and it does that any hot water tap you turn on, it'll turn on the water heater. So that's on demand, okay? Shower works like any other shower. You have a fan, of course, a skylight, sliding door here. The toilet is a typical RV toilet. It has antifreeze in it. flush pedal right here. So what you do when you get to the campground, it sits right over a black tank. So you'll, you know, I showed you the black tank flush, so it'll be flushing the black tank for this toilet when you use the flush. So when you come in here, you're going to put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. You'll push down on the pedal and put at least a gallon, excuse me, at least a gallon of water into the tank along with the chemical. You could use more than a gallon, just don't use less. So you probably want to use more than a gallon actually, but that's the minimum. So you do that, and then it's ready to be used until next time you flush the tank. You have to repeat the procedure before you use it after you flush the tank, obviously. So if you don't do that, it'll be a mess. It'll get clogged up. It'll smell super bad, and it's just a mess. So you always got to have water and chemical to start off with. Okay? You may know all this, but I don't know that, so I'll just tell you everything I know about it. Obviously, the bed's not made, but you have some storage underneath. If you got a pet, you can put bowls down there if you choose. Now this is a 50 amp system. The reason it's a 50 amp system because this is pre-wired for a second air conditioner. You can see how that, I'm sure it says it on that tag right there. I didn't read it, but this is pre-wired. So basically, to put an air conditioning in, you remove this vent and the air conditioner drops right in here. So if you're ever interested, we install them. If you ever need a second one, let us know. We can do that for you. But that's why you have a 50 amp system, because potentially you could have 2 air conditioners. A second door, obviously. And last but not least, your escape window, which I'm sure you know, but it works like this. Let me get it open here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me set this down. I'm not going to push that through. I'm going to coax it from the outside. I don't know if it's frozen. It's pretty cold out today. It's snowing. But this will push all the way through, and you can grab a hold of this knob and pull the screen out, and you can escape during an emergency. But I'll make sure this is, I'll leave it like that. I'll make sure that opens properly. Of course, your lights. There's ducted air conditioning here. So you can see that the ductwork on the ceiling for the AC. The furnace comes out of the lower vents, or the furnace vents. So, okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Now, remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days? You just look around. Odds are you won't have to do anything for years, but you just don't know. So you're protecting your investment. Right now, this is winterized. Water's been purged from the system. It's filled with antifreeze, so you're all set for the winter time anyway. So when you come to pick up, we'll go over it with you again. We'll give you as much time as you need, and we'll go from there. Okay? Thank you.